Leo.
and
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Roll call. Collins.
Here.
Baloo.
Here.
Contos.
Here.
Dan.
Here.
Amsa.
Here.
Buxton.
Here.
We have two sets of meeting minutes to approve. First dates back to September 16th. You all have received those copies twice. Are there any amendments to the minutes from January 16th? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. The second set of minutes was from the last council meeting on October 7th. Any amendments? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. Takes us into public speak. Stephanie? Sue?
No.
Lead right into committee reports, service.
Short and sweet today, nothing underwater, under roads. Where we had a break before has been blacktop on Hazelwood. Under buildings, if you notice, we painted the parking lines and handicap spaces, excuse me, and the steps entering Village Hall. So, any questions on anything or going on? Good?
Everything's good to go.
All right.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Right into safety, Sergeant Crouch.
Hey, good evening. Since our last meeting, we had 15 track stops, 7 citations, 2 of them parking, 11 business checks, 1 theft, 2 domestics, felony investigation, 2 suspicious person, and 2 warrants. Tonight, I'd like to swear in Logan Pope, who's a full-time officer. And I also sent an attachment to, I got pricing for purchasing firearms for the department. Not looking for approval right now, just kind of give the council a heads up of how much that's probably going to cost us.
We'll get council a copy of that. It's not included in your minutes, but we'll provide you with a copy. As Sergeant Crouch stated, we understand that it's getting towards the end of the year, but we wanted to make sure it stays on council's radar, top of your minds for budgeting for next year. If council is okay, could we consider the ordinance for hiring Officer Pope?
Got ordinance 2024-17, an ordinance to appoint Logan Pope as full-time police officer with the Village of East Canton Police Department. Establish an hourly rate of pay at $23 per hour. Be it ordained by the Council of the Village of East Canton, State of Ohio, Section 1. East Canton Village Council, Stark County, Ohio, does hereby authorize and approve the appointment of Logan Pope as a full-time police officer with the Village of East Canton Police Department effective 10/21/2024 at an hourly pay rate of $23. And with all the requisites of a full-time police department employee is set forth in the East Canton Village Employees Handbook and East Canton Police Department policies and procedures. The hiring shall be on a 1-year probationary period. Council does hereby further authorize the East Canton Village fiscal officer to do all things necessary to accomplish the purpose and intent of this ordinance. Section 2, the village fiscal officer is hereby authorized to draw on warrants. To draw warrants on the village treasury for payments from any of the respective appropriations and accounts for salaries or wages for persons employed by authority and in accordance with law or ordinance. Be it further ordained, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that result in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Be it further ordained that this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the Village of East Canton, shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and at the earliest date allowable by law. So.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Ansett.
Yay.
Buxton.
Motion to suspend the rules. Second.
Roll call Collins.
Yay.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Ansett.
Yay.
Buxton.
Third and final reading, ordinance 2024-17 by title only, an ordinance to appoint Logan Pope as a full-time police officer with the Village of East Canton Police Department and to establish his hourly rate of pay at $23 per hour. So. Second.
Roll call Collins.
Yay.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Ansett.
Yay.
Buxton.
Yay.
Congratulations, Officer Pope. Come on up here, sir. Come on. Sure you've done this a couple times, right? Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Logan Pope,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and partially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a full-time police officer
of full-time police officer
of the Village of East Canton,
of the Village of East Canton,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office.
during my continued said office.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank
Mr. Pope, if you don't mind, you can sign this one. I'll get you a copy of it for your records, sir. And you will be set. Congratulations again. Seriously. Thank you.
Congratulations, I never speed through town.
That's good. All right, well, we're on the subject of safety. I would like council to consider setting a disciplinary meeting date for Chief Thomas Heinrich. Of course, it's at council discretion, but there's been much discussion on the topic. I prefer to have some resolution sooner rather than later.
If I may.
Yes, sir.
Under the statute, if the mayor has reason to believe that the chief may have been derelict in his duties as a chief police officer, the mayor is compelled by law to bring charges against the chief. Mayor and I have drafted some charges to be served against the chief. Next step would be for council to establish a date and time for the chief, with or without his lawyer, to appear and respond to those charges. Once you set that date, we will hand deliver a copy to the chief and welcome him to come and state his case in response to the mayor's allegations.
When you say charges, are you like charges of like dereliction of duty or?
Yeah, it's a breakdown statement of things that the mayor has
Not criminal charges.
reason to believe that charges is the word in the statute.
Right.
The mayor has reason to believe that he's not fulfilled his duties in one way or another. That's all it is. The mayor will lay those out to council during this hearing. Chief, either individually or with his attorney, have a chance to respond, and then council will have to decide truth or not and penalty or not. But you have to set a date and time. I'm going to suggest at least 2 weeks out, so that we have sufficient time to give Chief Heiderman an opportunity to prepare a defense and respond. But you need to set the date and time because the hearing's in front of you.
And this would be a public hearing unless Chief Heinerman elects for it to be not.
Correct. It's a public hearing unless the chief requests an executive session. But any decision you make, obviously, is going to be a public hearing.
When does that kind of stuff typically happen, Charlie?
Well, he said, it's whenever you want to do it. You can set it for tomorrow, but
Yeah.
common sense and courtesy would say, give us time to give the chief a copy of the charges, the allegations against him. And then that gives him time to prepare a defense and decide whether he or his lawyer wants to show up and discuss it.
We want to do 2 weeks out, like just schedule it before the next meeting, November 4th meeting.
You can do whatever council wants, but in anticipate, I mean, it becomes a mini trial in
That's
essence.
my recommendation.
So You want to do it at a time where it's probably not going to impose or impinge or interfere with the regular meeting. So you may want to set it at 6, and then hopefully have it wrapped up before your meeting begins at 7. That's entirely up to you.
I'm not opposed to having it before or after our next meeting.
I think it makes sense, we do 2 weeks out, we'll just do November 4th. I feel 6 o'clock, that way, I think an hour beforehand should give us plenty of time.
I'm good with that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
6 o'clock, November 4th?
Yeah. Yeah. Try to get a roll.
Yeah, you can do that.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, are you at this time have the liberty to tell us what those charges are, the public? And if not, and he decides not to have a public hearing, will the public ever hear what the charges are?
At the date of the hearing, they will be made public.
Even if he requests a private, okay.
Anything else for safety? Anything else for judicial? Anything for grants? Takes us into finance.
Finance, I'd like to make a motion to approve invoices in the amount of $45,598.09 as presented by fiscal officer Rex.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Constance.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Okay.
Buxton.
Yay.
Council will receive the appropriations report through the 23rd. That is in the minutes for the agenda here.
Point out a couple things on there. If everything goes the way I think it's gonna go, look down to, go down to the police, funds, 2904. Just, I want to point out a couple things because I believe I'm going to be coming before council and asking them to reappropriate a little bit more money for the police fund because we're gonna run short. We've got some bills coming up that aren't reflected in here. Put it down to 2904, 110-400 supplies and materials. We've only got 2266.37 in there. And if you look at the capital outlay, which is 2904, 110-500, we got 7851.21 in there. We're going to have to reappropriate and take some of those funds and reappropriate them back up to the OPERS fund, which is your 211 fund. You'll see we've got a zero balance. We appropriated $10,245.68, which is about a 10% above what we spent last year. Now, we've already spent all our money in OPERS due to the amount of overtime and extra hours worked for part-time employees. It cost us about $1,600 and some change per month to meet that requirement of the village. So we're going to need about $5,000 in that fund to cover the retirement expense for the police department, the OPERS part. We also have a bill coming in from Ohio Police and Fire. It's a $1,000 penalty. I haven't got the invoice yet. And that has to do with Officer Mixon not completing her physical within the 60-day time period or ever completing it. And I got that notice from OPNF last week or the week before. So I'm anticipating that bill. We're gonna have $600 to $750 for Officer Pope's full physical now that he's a full-time officer. Ohio Police and Fire will be requiring us to do that. And then we're just going to have just the general supplies and material that the police department needs. So we're gonna be running low on there. We're gonna have to reappropriate the money in that one. That's about the lowest one so far. Some of the other funds I think will make it through, but I'll know better here in a month and a half how all this is gonna shake out and everything. Council did approve that Vector Solutions at the last council meeting. We are gonna have to move some money to pay that because we're not gonna have enough money in there to pay that invoice. So I'm just making you aware, don't be surprised when we have to reappropriate some more money out of the general fund.
Will our liability insurance do anything with the penalty for mixing?
No, because, no. Mhm. No, because that wasn't any type of malfeasance or, we didn't have a bond of any type against her. Yeah, that's not any type of a liability issue. That's just a laziness issue. We paid a $500 penalty when she was here the first time. Her and the chief both were negligent in getting it done within the 60-day time period, and we got a $500 penalty for Chief Heinerman and Officer Mixon the first time she worked for the village. And she can't claim that she didn't know that she had to get the physical, because as soon as we started getting the notices, not only did I notify her, I notified the chief, and I notified Mayor Spencer. So multiple people were well aware that she had to have it done within 60 days, including herself. So,
And I personally reached out to her as well. I reached out to the chief first, asked him to handle the situation. Realized it wasn't done, so then I reached out to her first and tried to get it rectified.
and just because she quit doesn't mean they're gonna wipe the slate clean. Because she was still covered under OPNF for that period of time that she was here.
We couldn't get that money out of her now, could we? I mean, I know it's funny, but
Probably, I was thinking.
No.
probably not.
No. I just want council to be aware that that's what we've got going on. I'm projecting it's gonna take about $109,000 to finish out the year with the police department, unless something changes.
Alright, so we wanted to remind council of the mandatory requirement for fraud training. Kurt, do you know who hasn't completed
I
that?
think Josh is the only one. I think everybody else has, there's probably some police officers that haven't done it yet. I can find out. I've got the file on my desk.
I did it 4 times.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thoroughly
You're covered,
trained.
man. Yeah, you're covered.
You're the man.
Too bad you couldn't bank those and like use them for next year.
There you go.
Just doesn't know how to spell his
Or
name.
signed up.
Derek Cody out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
Derek said he got once or twice.
Alright. I'd also like to request permission, approval from council for an additional $2,500 to $2,500 towards the fixed position speed radar signs. The appropriation that was given before of 10,000 was enough to secure the signs, but we had to pay additional for the shipping as well as the concrete pole bases. Our service department will be able to install those, but we do have to secure all the materials.
Where are they gonna go?
East Nassau and Northwood. Those are the two biggest areas currently that we're seeing people not understanding that 35 is 35.
Do they say slow down and thank you?
It says slow down and flashes red and blue.
Yeah.
If you could just get him to slow down to 45, it'll be an improvement.
Well, at least this way, when our officers are posted up on the edges of town, there wouldn't be any excuse on why the person didn't slow down. Right now, it can be thought that they maybe didn't see, but this thing's gonna be flashing in a way that you'd have to be blind not to see.
And that's permanent.
permanent.
That's a big temporary.
Let me see, I think I've got
And there's
some cut sheets that I can send you, that's what I'm trying to get online right now.
And they're solar powered, so
So we need to pay additional for shipping? So we haven't even shipped them.
We understand the poles are 15 feet.
Yeah.
And it takes special, it's not like, if it was just a regular sign and the components for that, it could come UPS or what have you, but it's on aluminum poles, which are 15 feet long, and they're gonna have to come in probably on a carrier truck. The quote, the final
I knew
quote,
they were ordered, I just thought that was part of the.
the shipping wasn't.
order process.
No, the shipping wasn't.
So the order was placed and then he came back with us and then because of the
Yeah, we
process
sent
for
the-
shipping, we'll have
Where
to-
are they being shipped from?
Ethan, Ohio, I think it is.
That's cool.
This much.
Amelia, Ohio. 45, it's got 45102. It's gotta be done around Cincinnati. It's got 513.
So what would happen, we got the quote from the first company, and then we got a second quote from the same group that Louisville used. So, once we got that second quote, I sent Kurt an email saying, look, I'd like to move forward with 2 of the signs, at which point then they gave us the shipping information. So,
Yeah, shipping will be about $300 per sign. No, it's not, but council only approved $10,000. The 2 signs, the poles and everything came up to $9,800. And then we got, I don't know, $1,500 for the full basis to put in.
And they sold it.
yeah,
I'm trying to find the cut sheets for them. I think I got some cut sheets I can send you.
this would come out of the mayor's fund as well. So it would be coming out of the general fund. It's,
No, it is coming out of the general fund.
I thought we were taking it out of the,
Some of the mayor's court fines gets transferred from
Yeah,
mayor's
you're right.
court into the general fund. We're gonna pull it out of the land and
Yeah.
buildings in the general fund to pay for the signs for the portion that you find them in mayor's court.
I'll make a motion to approve spending additional $2,500 towards the purchase of 2 permanent radar signs.
Second.
roll call, Collins.
Yep.
Baloo,
Yeah.
Contos.
Yay.
Dan,
Yes.
Ansett.
Yes.
Buxton.
Yay.
Okay. Anything else for other before I request that council consider going into an executive session?
So moved.
All right, so
Second.
I just got, let me read my spiel real quick.
You gotta say the reason.
Yeah, we gotta state the reason. So I'm requesting that council consider going into executive session pursuant to ORC 121-22G1, appointments, employment, compensation. You said that you still got a motion, okay? And you had a second. All right. Let's see. I would like all council members, Charlie, Sergeant Crouch. And Kurt, you're welcome to stay if you'd like. All right, roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Contis.
Yay.
Dan.
Yes.
Ansett.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yeah.
Oh.